Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to Deborah Kobylt Live today. I've got two amazing guests in studio with me. I'm so excited to have them. Patsy Noah, Sharon Feldstein. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Co-founders of Your Mom Cares. We got a whole bunch of stuff in common. Sharon and I are both from New York. Your son went to the Brentwood School. My kids went there too, and he managed to graduate from there. Is that
and
true?
my son managed not to graduate from there.
What? Oh my God!
So Jonah was politely asked to find another school when he was in ninth grade. So I have to tell you, in general, I'm not just saying this because of that. I'm a huge fan of Crossroads and a huge fan of Harvard Westlake. So there's a little bit of divide on the table, but everybody voted yesterday, so we're good. Okay, so it's all good.
Oh, this is going to be a fun show.
Okay, so it's all
anyway,
good.
A little bit about Your Mom Cares. You deal in mental wellness, mostly of young people. Am I right?
Kids.
I even said to you once, please, can you do it for us moms? Because we really need it. So maybe that's like.
And I think we said
you
you aged out. 26.
That's really a bummer because I'm telling you, if you do it for us, then we'll be better for the
But
kids.
if the kids are happier, then the moms are happier. So you can look at it either way.
I do. But
Right?
why don't you tell me a little bit about Your Mom Cares and how it even started?
Well, I'll tell you how it started. So the last administration, President Obama asked me to do a PSA for the Affordable Health Care Act, and then I asked Patsy if Patsy could be on it with me, and the long story short, we did a PSA. We got 1 million hits. Michelle Obama ended the PSA, which with "We nag you because we love you," hashtag Your Mom Cares. I called the White House. I said, could I own the brand? That was
Hello?
after,
Hello, the White House.
The White House.
No,
oh,
Coco-
hang on, please.
Coco, get me the White House. That's the joke in my family. That was my assistant at the time. Coco's super famous because of that. 1 year she worked for me. But anyway, we went to the White House. We had a meeting with the administration. We had a meeting in the Oval Office, Patsy and I. It was super cool. And I said, this is a great brand. Your Mom Cares is a great brand. And I said to the White House, listen, you're not famous. You have to have famous kids to own this brand and do good with it.
Can you imagine? Excuse me, Michelle and Barack, you're not famous, but our kids are. So let me have the rights to Your Mom Cares.
Right.
I love that. So what did Michelle
That's
say?
actually, they said, cool.
Oh my
They said,
God.
great. They said, do good things.
Girl,
Make us
you
proud.
really got a lot of balls. I got to tell you that right now. Wow.
You don't need balls. Girls don't need balls.
No, we don't. We need
just
something.
need guts.
You need guts. You got a lot of guts.
I do.
That's fantastic. But you saw something, is what I liked.
Well, I'm
You
a brand or marketer. I mean, that's my way. So
Yeah.
you can take it and you can make it politics. You can do it for nonprofit. You can do it for sparkle jewelry, which is my claim to fame. You can do it any way you want, as long as it's saleable and you're doing something
Yeah.
fun and good.
But I love this because that PSA, do we have it? Are we able to cue it up?
Patsy and I kind of co-parent our kids, true? True. Well, I told them they could be and do whatever they wanted, and she told them they couldn't. So together, that makes like a normal person. Jonah was a prankster.
Adam always made me do his dirty work.
Jonah flooded the elementary school. Jonah would lie on top of my dashboard and literally not get off. Trust me, us moms put up with a lot. But one thing we should never have to put up with is our kid not having health care.
Just joking.
Fantastic. I absolutely think that's fantastic. And again, that was the Affordable Care Act that you were talking about, health care. And you said, I'm going to do something with this.
Well,
I just
I've
think
been on the
that's
board of a
amazing.
pediatric cancer and AIDS charity since I was 25. So
And what is that?
it was called Neil Bogart Memorial Fund, and it's TJ Martell. It's a music industry charity. But my point is that I've always worked with kids. I've always been, I would say, fairly philanthropic and innovative. So it was a natural. Once that I saw that brand, it was like Mothers Against Drunk Driving. I knew there was something there. I didn't know what we were going to do with it, but I was like, I asked Patsy, and our third musketeer is Alicia Keys' mom, Taria Joseph, and the three of us are just like, we're going to figure this out. And Adam and Beanie said, you got to focus on mental health. And
I
of course-
love that.
Yeah,
I
by the way,
love-
separately. They came to us completely separately, and they both had the same.
What I love about it is how collaborative it is. It's friends, it's kids, it's everything. You're putting your heads together at night going, well, what are we going to do with this? The name is right, because that's how all great things happen.
Yep.
That's how all great things happen. What else do you also do? I know that you are an expert.
Oh, what do I do? You mean my career?
Yeah.
You mean my
well,
real
this
life?
is your career, actually,
Well,
now.
this is, I call it a business. I just say I'm in the business. I'm in the business of mental health, but we're not for profit. We just don't make money. We're in like Tom's Shoes. This is a big business. This is turning into a business. We have collaborations. We have all different sorts of things, and we do have an LLC which we have not used yet, in case we end up doing something like a Tom's, which is sell all the merchandise and give the money back to Your Mom Cares, so we can do it both ways.
Interesting.
But because people are saying like, what are you making? What is your stuff besides the beads? So we can talk about the beads later. So because my background is also products, I'm interested in that, and I think it's a cool way to like buy something. People get to take it home, but yet they also get to give back, but they end up having a super cool thing. So I like that too. But I don't remember the question because that was like 10 minutes ago.
I don't remember it either. I don't remember. That's
forgot
okay.
what you said.
Well, you're an expert sort of marketer.
Oh, what I do for a living. Okay, so I was a costume designer, stylist. I created and designed the Sparkle cell phone and microphones. That was
Oh,
all
I
me.
love those.
I know.
I should have had you bring some
I
to
ended
me.
Sex in the City, my claim to fame. Okay, like she called big with my phone, the pink Sparkle phone.
Oh my God.
From Paris. I know. I just want to say that Chris and Tara are my neighbors now. Mr. Big and his real wife, Tara, who I adore, are my neighbors in the Berkshires, New York, and they live in LA. So like they're stuck with me. So they're amazing. I know.
Did you give them one of those little sparkle phones?
No, because no one uses that anymore. You have a
There
smartphone.
were Nokias.
They were like Motorola's,
just kinda
Nokia,
joking.
I know. But I still have Sparkle pens. But anyway, so I did that for a while, and people were like, what's the next trend? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe experts. Maybe they're going to become stars. So I started and owned a company called Expert Management. And it was after Dr. Phil and before my dear friend Mehmet Oz, Dr. Oz.
Okay. You work with kids. You worked at the department school that we so fondly talked about before. Right?
Yes,
So you worked with kids.
Oddly, I like teenagers. I really enjoy the
do?
company of teenagers. I enjoyed advising them. I worked in admissions, and yes, it was a much less glamorous career, but I really enjoyed it while I did it. But there's a lot of politics involved, and it became kind of untenable for me.
It's tough. Whenever I mention your name, people go, "Oh, she's the nicest in this town." What she does, you really were. So okay, so you love working with kids. You love kids. Your mom cares. You did the PSA. You have all this experience, and then you started. And you also talked to Alicia Keys' mom. And what was the next
She's
step?
like,
Then
we
what?
didn't talk to her. She's like our third person. She's like, we're going to do a panel
she's
together.
the
her
triplet,
and I.
the third triplet.
Yeah, because I live in New York half the year, or part of the year, and so Taria's in New York. So we needed a New York person. But we have tons of moms. I mean, no one's going to say no to us. I mean, who's going to say no to me? No one.
No, but then what did you do? Like, okay, you got together the first time and say, okay, how do we do this? Look, you've got a major platform just right out the gate.
No, what we did was we vetted charities and we vetted causes. We started with food insecurity, homelessness, education, all amazing. There's no bad cause, right? But every cause leads back to mental health, because if you're homeless, you don't know where you're going to sleep, you get anxiety. If you're hungry, you get scared where your next meal is going to be from. If you're an abused, everything. The migrant kids have PTSD. The kids with Flint, Michigan, lead in the water, they're getting brain damage. Everything goes back to mental health. Everything.
Do you do a lot of your own research, you personally?
Are you crazy? I don't even know how to read.
No. So I guess...
Wait. Crazy being a word that I would like to take back at this moment. I use being silly because I don't like to read.
So interesting. So you
Patsy researches a little bit, but we also have a team of researchers, and we have an amazing COO, brilliant lawyer. Her name is Meredith Wolf. We're shouting out to her. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
And she has 2 young kids. She's in Brooklyn, and she vets everything to the point of like, I'm not even allowed to talk to you without her like checking to make sure.
Thank you.
You're not going to do anything bad to us.
Thank you.
So,
no, I
yeah.
never would.
No, I'm teasing. But no, yeah, we meet everybody. We talk to everybody. I actually have a decent science background. I don't have an education in it, but I know a lot about medicine. So I understand the language. And having done charity work and been on the board my entire life since I was in my 20s, I understand the way nonprofits. I understand a little bit about everything. So I have good instincts when it comes to that stuff.
You know what I love about your mom cares? You started small. And by that I mean with the money. It's very attractive. I remember you had that KISS campaign. Remember that?
Oh, we remember.
No, they don't remember that at all. Well, I'll remind you. No, just
Don't
kidding.
forget it. It'll be coming up again in
Oh,
May.
really?
But big.
Okay,
But
okay.
big this year.
So I participated in that too. In fact, I think I
Thank
had
you, Deborah.
Anthony do a little Your Mom Cares like background for us, and I brought my friend
Thank
over
you,
here.
Anthony.
Yeah, and I brought my friend over here, and I was kissing her. She goes, "Why are we doing this?" And then she got very interested in Your Mom Cares herself.
It's
So
amazing.
but what I love about that, okay. How much was that to participate? Maybe give $5.
Oh, you could
if
give
I
anything
recall.
you wanted.
But,
Yeah.
but we started small,
Yeah.
right? It's not like you said participate in Your Mom Cares KISS campaign.
Well,
$5,000
we will
minimum.
take $5 right now
Because
from
there's
anyone.
nothing wrong with $5
There's
or
something
$1. And I
Five's my
love
lucky
that.
number. So I love $5.
But that's what I love about you. You're inclusive to everybody. They may be influencer moms to very famous and accomplished kids, but you'll take everything.
well, there's no
because
gift too small,
There is never.
right?
Never. And that's what I
And
love.
you can't buy us, and you can't buy you really can't buy something that we don't believe in. So we're not for sale. So, but we're all about like inclusive love, friendship, talking about causes, dialogues, opening up, conversations, getting rid of stigma, really stopping what's going. I mean, Deborah, there's such serious stuff going on in this country. I'm not a super serious person by nature, but the rate, 5-year-old kids are completing suicide. You don't say committing anymore. You're supposed to say completing or attempted. And suicide is the number 2 cause of death, I believe, for children in the country, second to accidents. And people pretend overdoses are not suicides, but they are, because there's still a huge stigma. And, we've got to help these children so that they understand that when they do this, A, it's permanent. They can't come back once they've done it. And B, that there are alternatives to doing that.
I remember I heard a speaker once, and he was on the Golden Gate Bridge, and he was despondent, and a young man, and he was upset about everything in life, and he jumped. And on his way down, he said, "Please, God, let me live. I will spend the entire rest of my life, every day, talking about how you might think you want to do it, but you don't."
How do you know that?
Because he lived. And he spends his entire life going around. Look, I even got goosebumps talking about him. And he talks about how you might be so despondent, but don't do it.
Yeah, but Deborah, you know what we have to do? We have to address and help with the pain.
And that's right.
The pain becomes so deep that these stellar young human beings that have no idea what could, I teach a master class at Fashion Institute. It's called Just Show Up. If you show up to life, you never know what's going to happen. But if you don't,
and a lot of people don't. A lot of people are ashamed, and a lot of people are scared.
Or depressed.
They're depressed.
Or anxious.
I wanted to ask you about this. Depression, anxiety, those words, again, are just used every day in just normal conversation. How does one even know if they are? And if they're diagnosed, how do they even know if the diagnosis is correct? Like, it's very complicated.
It's tricky.
It's very tricky, especially with kids.
I remember when one of my sons was in school, they were just passing around Adderall saying, "No, you need it, you need it, you need it." And I thought, whoa, this makes me scared, because you think you need something and you're just passing it around like M&Ms. In other words, nobody really diagnosed anybody. The kids were diagnosing themselves. So how do you get good care, good treatment, good diagnosis?
Well, there aren't enough therapists, and so it's
Good
a real
therapists.
challenge. And what we're
Not even
trying,
enough. Forget it, good or bad.
you can't. We've had a very prominent doctor in Pittsburgh. He's a psychiatrist, and he had a friend whose child was having a problem, and it took him getting someone in New York City for this child. I mean, there was no one
Because
for
he
this
couldn't
kid,
treat his
'cause
friend's kid.
He couldn't treat him himself, and it's so hard to find good therapists. And what we're trying to work out with one of our partners, which is University of Children's Hospital Foundation, Pittsburgh, is they are now working with pediatricians' offices that have a mental wellness checkup as part of your health checkup as a child. You go in for a well child visit, and you're also asked certain screening questions. And in theory, the way it's supposed to work is there are therapists right across the hall in the same suite.
I like that.
And we're trying to promote that idea all over the country, and everybody's
We funded the
starting.
pilot program for this. It's an app, but it's really called the Brain Manager. It's not exactly an app because
There it is, the brain manager.
Yeah,
I got it
but
right here.
a lot of the apps, they don't have people attached to them. So this app has like social worker, young people that have just graduated college that are in charge of X amount of kids. And if they feel by the information they get from this app or talking to them that they need to go one step further, they will then direct them to a psychiatrist. But as Patsy said, there aren't enough. There are enough for our program, but there are not enough for the country at all.
And this program that we are piloting, and we're in the middle of it right now,
manager.
the brain manager, the pediatrician prescribes it as though he or she was
I like that.
prescribing
Like
a
glasses.
medication. So.
Well, hopefully not medication.
I remember when my son was at the pediatrician, he did ask. He would pull you into a separate room, and I thought, "Oh, dear Jesus, please don't say that I screamed at you yesterday. I'm gonna I was so worried about it. I'm like,
Right, that's
oh no." No, I remember
Well, that's
that.
funny, but it's not funny because I'll tell you something. We were talking to these women in Connecticut that support our cause that we love. One of our moms, Lisa Zelson, is from Connecticut. And I was with the psychiatrist, and I actually asked the psychiatrist a question because I had a feeling these mothers were like afraid of their kids, of their teenage boys specifically.
That's common too.
Okay, and I knew that. So I said, Dr. Nash, I just want to ask you in front of these women, will them confronting their kids or talking to their kids ever be the reason that their child does something violent to themselves or others? And he said, absolutely not. which gave them
Wow.
permission. That was huge. And I say that
Wow.
every time I'm asked about something because it's not me, it's the doctor, the expert saying, if a child is going to complete or attempt suicide, it is not because their mother asked them, are you okay? Do you want to talk to someone? It's never going to be because of that.
You know, I've had friends call, well, you know, we all talk as moms, and they said, I'm afraid, because you're right. They're
Right?
afraid. They're like, I'm afraid he's going to run out the door if I talk to him. So
They're scared of their children.
They're scared of their children.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do to open the dialogue? Some kids don't want to talk. So what do you do about that? And then you're afraid. What do you do?
It's a tricky question. The best thing to do is just start listening. As Sharon always is.
Well, I don't
fond
think.
of saying.
Well, I'm going to interrupt Patsy because honestly, we're not supposed to give advice. So
Okay.
That's true.
I want to stop her because
Fair.
I do not want us to give
Right,
any
you're
advice.
there to
I
facilitate-
was quoting Dr. Nash, who's a psychiatrist, a pediatric psychiatrist. I don't think we should give any advice.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. But what you said was true and simple enough. Okay, what do we have here? Here, you want to lift these up? I love these. I asked them to. Okay, look what I'm wearing. Hello.
Where am I lifting? Who am I looking at? Those lights?
The
camera?
I'm looking at your camera.
Okay, hey, camera. Here you
Okay.
go.
If you look at what I'm wearing, did these not look fabulous on me?
Here, we have another one for you.
She looks amazing in those. I'm looking
Well,
at the camera because
I've
she's
got
tan.
that olive skin.
She has beautiful skin tone,
Yes.
and it makes the orange pop. And I love that she wears them on both wrists because I usually
Those
do
are
that.
Your Mom Cares bracelets, but we're starting to personalize them, so we made you
Your
your
own
own.
name.
excited. I was hopeful.
Patsy made it. I didn't
Oh,
make it. I
I
didn't have
love
time.
you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And
I
we're
really
also
am.
doing evil eyes at all different colors, and you can personalize your kids' names, your
Deb.
mom's name, and we
I thought
can
Deborah would be too long.
It's too long to take the whole bracelet.
see your mom cares. In case you don't like the YMC, which we encourage you to wear at least one, you can do your own personal names, nicknames, your dog's name. We don't care.
Kids'
Do you want to
names,
bead a
your
little while we're
grandkids'
talking, or is it
names.
too hard?
I
You
bead
bought these
all the
beads.
time.
All right, let's
Patsy's
start
always
beading a
yelling at
little
me
bit.
that I'm always
I
making
actually
noise.
thought it would be fun to just do a little beading because I don't.
Patsy cut
Can you
these.
do
They're
the-
way too short for me. I like
No,
mine.
I made
like
them
a big
longer
bracelet,
for
but
you.
wait.
No, these are not. My
Can you
size,
knot
so-
it for me? Because I don't do the good knot. My bead will go through the other side.
I
No, I
actually-
just make a regular knot.
Can you knot it for me anyway?
Not
Because-
me.
No, Patsy.
I only do my own.
Okay.
I have
Patsy,
a thing about I can't help you with that.
Now, a little bit about the beading. So, because I see these campaigns all the time on social media, you get what? They change all the time. You can get 3 bracelets or 5 bracelets or.
I think first of all, when you donate to Your Mom Cares, we gift you the bracelets because that's kind of like the tax thing or something like that. I'm not exactly sure why, but
It's a thank you.
It's a thank you. So, I think for $50 you get 3 bracelets, and I think. I don't know. Yeah, how do we find? Do you know the answer to that? We should.
Well,
know
let's
the
just
answer.
For $50, you get three YMC bracelets, or 2. You can get up to 2 personalized bracelets and one YMC bracelet. And for
Wow.
$25, you can get 3 bracelets, and for $10, you can get 1.
Again, what I love about this is it involves everyone. Look, everybody's got an issue with. We talked about this, mental wellness. We all do. I do. You do, Patsy. Maybe not you.
Mental. Oh, please. So mental wellness. I mean, beading is.
Therapeutic?
Yes. Thank you. It's meditative and therapeutic. Exactly right.
Well, if somebody
So, like,
knots mine, I'll be happy to
So
start.
you have to concentrate versus like worrying. You
Still
see?
be careful because it might go through.
It might go through.
You have to concentrate on the beading.
Yeah, I am. We're not
Yeah.
going to speak. We're just going
I
to, you know
picked
what?
my
No,
color.
we're going to tune in live and we're going to be sitting here beading.
No, we could talk, but I'm saying you have to concentrate rather than worrying. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I see.
See.
No, you're right. It's like, you're right about
My
that.
famous story about that is don't eat popcorn, bead, and watch Netflix. I love Netflix and I love Amazon. I love them all. Hulu. I like you all. Anyone that wants to participate with Your Mom Cares, I like every single streaming network that there is. I'm an equal opportunity liker because I ate my popcorn. I thought it was popcorn, but I ate my beads.
My very dear friend, she's the COO over at Netflix, and she almost came today to meet you guys. So I'll have to introduce you because
Oh, that's a super bummer that she's not here.
well, I know Tammy.
That's like a pretty big deal. I want to shout out there and say.
I know Tammy. See what happened? She would have
Freaking
come.
love
She couldn't.
Netflix.
Well, you know what? You'll have to meet her. But I want. Oh, it went through, Patsy.
Well,
You have
I
to
don't.
just look. You just
I
stop.
don't
Look,
knot
see what
it.
I do. Look, see this? You leave a little extra, Deborah, like
Oh,
I do,
okay,
and
I
you just go
see.
there and you don't worry about it.
But I like this. Who came up with this beading idea?
Cute story.
Well, the story is,
We like cute
my
stories.
little neighbor Emma. Emma's becoming so famous; it's ridiculous. She's been everywhere. There's pictures of her like on KTLA. Emma
I know
came
that's
up-
one of your favorite shows too. I heard you tell Sam. We know
came over
Sam.
for Passover, and she brought these bracelets and started selling them to my guests.
yes.
But I said to her, Emma, how did you, I was interviewing her. I was like, how'd you come up with the idea? She goes, well, Nana, you told me I had to make bracelets for your mom care. So basically I directed her. I demanded that she do it. Gave her the beads and forgot I told her. And then she brought them and she started selling them. And all the guests were like super hip people. And they're like, these are amazing.
They really are cool.
So like, my friend Lukey, he loved from Bond, who also did our logo. Shout out to Luke. His mother's Paula Silva Greenberg, who's
One of
part
our
of our
moms.
moms. But he was crazy about his bracelets. And I thought, oh, if Luke likes it, we're good. So we're
But you're
golden.
right. I'm watching you do this, and I failed a little bit, so I'm going to have to get back to it in a moment. But this beading thing is relaxing.
It's so relaxing. But when I'm on the phone, Patsy said when I get the beads, people can hear me on a conference call. They don't.
What, they can hear you beading? I mean,
No,
like,
they
so
hear
what?
me like picking them up and
Oh, so
I
what's
know,
the
looking
problem
at the
with that?
colors and.
Let's talk a little bit about your mobile mission. I like that.
Mobile Moms.
Mobile Moms. So can you tell me about that, Pat?
We have a Mobile Moms Fund, and it's discretionary. Sharon and I don't have a board of directors for Your Mom Cares. We don't have a large group of people to report to about where we give money and if there are emergent pediatric causes that are, happening in the moment, like the lead in Flint and the migrant kids at the border. We are able to set aside some money and make small donations to some really important organizations doing amazing work. And we also select smaller organizations because, $1,000 to them is like giving somebody $100,000.
It is true.
And we
that'll
stay
go a
in
long way.
touch and we give them awareness and we
So,
we are also working on a grant program. But
When we say report to, I'm going to have to hop in here for a minute. It's not that we don't report. We report to, we can account for every dollar that we have given away and we vet every dollar that we give away. So what Patsy's saying is we don't have people on a official board of directors.
I understand. Yeah.
Okay, but I want to explain it to people
to other
listening
people,
because
yeah.
people that might want to give us some money, we don't want them. I mean, I do call myself a cowgirl / cowboys. We're like the wild frontier of nonprofit because I think there's a new way of dealing with nonprofit that where you make it kind of like, I don't want to say sexy, but like current and trendy and important because it is. Well, not necessarily smaller, different. People are wasting so much time with scheduling and meetings and what people eat for lunch and blah, blah, blah. I have no time for that.
What about the big parties?
I have not. Well, yeah. Well, but those can be okay. I mean, I think we're going to do a concert instead of a party, which I think is more fun. But even that, whatever. But we are trying to be like, this is the way I've led my life. I do trends. I'm innovative. I'm creative. I get bored easily. I have to go with what's going on. So the charity is no different. Whatever's happening right now that needs the most help, we're there. However I'm going to get there is going to be the coolest, funnest, most current individual way to get there without just hitting up the same people for money. And also we have a new program which we're super proud of.
Tell me.
And we want to shout out to I'm going to shout out to the Black family for a minute because they help us support that. In South LA on Skid Row, for homeless kids, the first ever mental health group therapy for children. So every Wednesdays, it's called Rising Stars. The homeless children meet at the mission, and there are counselors that give them group therapy, which we are super proud of.
How do you get the word out to them? That's got to be rough. It's so
Because
sad what's going on in our
Children's
city.
Health Fund, I'm shouting out to them now. They hired the professionals and they work down there, so they know how to do it. They did it
Wow.
for us. But we gave them the assignment of something very innovative and cool and new and interesting, and they came up with this, which was amazing because, you can give your money where everybody else does, which is a great thing, or you can give your money for a new thing that no one's ever done, and maybe it's going to help more.
and it also can become a model for other cities. We're hoping that that's what will happen with this program.
You know what I love, and I've heard you say this, we've got to destigmatize it. I mean, let's face it, if you're not feeling well, what do? We just put on a big smile. It's like everything's just fine. Not that you want to go show up all the time with your problems, but it's got to be destigmatized. As you said yourself, I'm going to take your own words, cancer. Remember there was a time when we all grew up,
Yeah,
it
I
was
said
like,
that to you. That's
yeah,
right.
you can't even talk
You
about
can
it.
talk
It's
about
like,
divorce,
yeah.
cancer. Yeah, but now there's no stigma on that. Transgender, everything is changing. But wait, I wanted to say something, but of course I lost my train of thought. I forgot about.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, changing. No, there was something I wanted to say, but it's all right. Go ahead.
No, it's just that I love the fact that I'm telling you, you women and all the moms are actually single-handedly going to change the entire dialogue of mental wellness,
We
as we
hope
like
so.
to.
From your mouth to God's ears.
We first met a few months back, and since then you've already done so much.
We've had a killer 6 months.
You've
We
had
really
a
have.
killer 6 months.
Thank you.
And that's what I mean. Imagine you're new. When did you start with Your Mom Cares?
Well, we started investigating about a year and a half ago.
That's
2 years.
it?
No, but we only started raising money since 2019. Wow. So we're not even 1 year into it. And
Wow.
we've raised almost $1 million, but also other things. We started programs, innovative stuff that no one's doing.
I want to hear about them. Can you tell people?
Well, the Brain Manager is one of them. Rising Stars is another one. Giving. I
like the name.
The Harris Project is a tiny little charity in New Rochelle or Scarsdale, and she's created this program that Patsy can speak to, which she'll tell you in a minute. But we've given her money and a platform and invited her places. See, that she would never get invited to, but we give people an opportunity to speak and present things to us. So, Patsy, why don't you tell a little bit about the Harris program?
The Harris Project is basically in honor of Stephanie's son, who did overdose, and she tried to help him for many, many years, every possible way, and she just became immediate. She went into action, and she has developed a program to teach high school kids about mental illness, about drug addiction, about all kinds of mental health issues that kids need to deal with. And she's developed kind of a CPR, quote unquote, it's called CODA, for high school kids. And she goes all over
East Coast.
fairly East Coast, but she sticks to mainly New York. And she talks, and she's very inspiring. And these kids now do runs, and they do all kinds of fundraising things on a real grassroots level for her. And
But she has our support, not just in money, but Patsy and I, we talk about her like
yeah,
we're talking
and we
about
bring
her
her
right now.
we bring her places.
Yeah.
We, you know,
She's really, but she's on her own done amazing. She doesn't need
Really
us, but
incredible
Oh, I
stuff.
do have one program. We can't give you the title of the app that's being created, but we're just in the process of closing the money part of the deal. But I have a friend, a lovely, lovely friend, Cynthia Martin, and she lost her only child to suicide a year ago, and she was at SC and a star on every check that you can check.
We're talking about that beautiful woman that was there
Yes.
the other day
Yes,
at the
yes,
Riveter
yes.
when you were
sat
speaking.
next
Yes,
to her,
and-
I
yes.
did, and we really yes.
And she allows me to tell this story. She attempted suicide, and my
As
friend,
well.
And my friend, Kirk and I, we called 911 and we saved her. And her life's mission is this app so that other kids do not complete suicide as McKenna did. And sadly, last week, McKenna's best friend completed suicide at SC. The 5th child since school started. We're barely in November this semester.
This is too wide of a question, but why? Is it
don't know.
copycat? Is it? I don't believe in social media
I would never
pressures
comment
because
as to why. I don't know.
yeah.
knows?
But I mean,
It's-
why is it increasing? Is what I meant. Why? Why the increase?
Again, I think that's either a doctor
Very-
or some sort of study that needs to be done. I don't know. I mean, if you want us to guess, social media, life's pressures, anxiety from the shootings. I don't know.
There are a lot of things weighing very
Competition.
heavily on everybody's mind. And when you're a teenager and you're just coming out of adolescence, which doesn't happen until you're in your early 20s,
Right,
it's
Patsy's
hard to
right.
process.
Well, I read just the other day. It said, "How about not raising kids to be successful? Raise them to be kind, good people." I mean, when we went to school or when I went to college, at least in my family, it wasn't really so competitive. I don't know. I went to where nearby. I went to Rutgers.
I will brag for a moment at
Okay.
Harvard Westlake. which is a competitive school, which I
It is.
love this school. One of the deans said, "Will you talk to the parents, Sharon? Because you're the only one that says oh, Beanie's so happy. She loves this school. The teachers are amazing. I love everybody here. Where does she want to go to college? Wherever she wants, or wherever she gets in, no problem with me." And I was her grades, I don't know. She's the best person on the planet. I mean, I couldn't ask for any better child ever.
Okay, she's also deeply talented. She just
but-
she was just working with Bette Midler. Hello on Broadway.
Hello.
My God.
At Harvard Westlake, she never got a lead. I'm just gonna say she didn't even get into the executive choir or whatever it was called. I don't even know what it was called. But
It's all politics.
But no, that's not true.
No.
But my point is, I love Harvard Westlake. I love all of her teachers. Where she went to college was not as important as her happiness, kindness, and her personal achievements. They were
Right.
her achievements. If I would have gotten a D at Harvard Westlake, I would have thought I was great. I have ADD. I have anxiety. I don't read. I have dyslexia. If I could have gotten a C, that would have been great for me. I have a high IQ, but my grades would never have matched up for them.
Well, that's a whole nother discussion. I always call school very often, no matter where you go, honestly. It's like the one-room schoolhouse. Like, everyone is so different. Some people are autistic. Some people have got the ADD and dyslexia and whatever. And you've got to fit into a little box. And I think that's very, very difficult. And then you start to feel like, like shit. Like you're not really keeping up, don't you think? I think that has a lot to do with it.
It does.
I mean, I know we're not supposed to comment on why, but I think about these things too. I've got 3 sons, you know what I mean? And I know that one of my sons in particular just really felt that school was a little too much, a little too stressful. And I think for him, he felt surrounded by kids who had to go somewhere. And I said, just do your best. Just do your best. And I feel like we need to change that dialogue.
When you say just do your best, you have to mean just do
do,
your best.
but
I'm
I
not
do.
talking about you. One, whoever's listening. If they say just do your best, but they really mean I want you to be, blah. Because look, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there were certain, like, I thought Beanie belonged in the good choir. I think I went to school and talked to the choir teacher. I'm not gonna lie, but
that's different.
But I did really think she belonged. I mean, she's gonna kill me that we're talking about choir. But I'm just gonna say, you have your moments as a parent. You're, slightly competitive or whatever. But if you genuinely believe, I don't think that where you went to college is going to equate to your success as a human being or happiness.
And
that's what I think. I don't
and
think
if
that
it does,
matters.
you have a different, view of life. I think it's really important for people to just, as you said, be raised to be kind and to be generous and happy.
It scares me. And sometimes I think, is it because we raise kids in LA and New York, or is it just everywhere? Is it in Oklahoma and in Kansas too?
Who knows?
I don't know.
what
I don't
mean?
live there.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
ass.
let me see that bracelet.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah, is that
Hers
one
is
for
way
me? I
prettier
kind of
than
like it because,
mine.
like, man,
No, I don't match them. I don't.
I can
count.
wear it with jeans. I don't either. So
No,
is that,
feel
can I
free.
keep it?
Of course.
Really? Thank you. See,
have
I
to
have them
say-
do the
That's
work
Harvard
for
Westlake
me.
colors. I like it.
Oh, there you go. You should work there. Do you
love the
talk
school,
there?
and I
Because I
love-
know that you also do. You said you do master.
No, but you know what? I'd love to talk there, and I also love Crossroads. So I would just talk anywhere that's not Brownwood, to be honest.
Actually, I could see you. You should be going to the schools.
But
and
guess
give
what?
talks to
That
these
is something we
kids.
really
We
want to
do.
do because we don't go to the schools. We
No,
do
we
want to
want
do
to,
it.
is what I
And
mean.
I do teach it at Fashion Institute. It's I do teach inner city. I'm going to shout out to the Youth Theater Project, Creative Kids Youth Theater Project, every Wednesday at Norris Dairy Elementary School. Cheryl Beck, my friend, does on no cost after school musical theater program for 70 kids, and it's paid for by the paid program that she has, for the kids that can go from 4 to 6. But on Wednesdays, the after school 1:30 to 3:30 program is completely free. 70 kids.
Where?
Sawtell, the Norris Dairy School, wherever Sawtell, like an Olympic around there. And I'm like one of her teachers. But like the funniest thing is I'm not even allowed to talk. I'm scared of Cheryl. So like I
You're,
just sit there.
stop.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to talk? How does this happen?
I don't know.
I don't know. Wow,
I
Cheryl.
quietly whisper to some of
wanna
my
know
favorite
Cheryl's
children.
secret.
Yeah. Okay, let's
She's the boss.
Let's talk about that a little bit. You two met when you were 17. I think most people know this story.
Patsy will tell the story.
There's got to be some of you who don't. So I've got to go through it because I think it's charming, frankly.
Patsy, it's your
Oh,
favorite story.
my
I
God.
love how you get the cue. Patsy, it's your turn now.
Well, I'm tired now and I'm making beats.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, we met oddly. Our boyfriends were best friends. They were both New York transplants. We decided to meet in Vegas.
How old were you?
17.
Yeah, it's very normal.
No,
yeah,
are you
and-
kidding me? I would have done something like that at 14,
And our
please.
parents let us. It
we're
was very
Jewish.
weird.
I'm just kidding.
So,
That was funny though. I cracked myself up.
God.
my boyfriend and I get off the plane, and they're greeting us at the gate. And Sharon
cute.
is wearing this plunging halter, this color, I think, and
White.
gorgeous.
This color?
Gorgeous.
Look,
white
look kind of
blue,
plunging
white
halter.
stripe. Yes, it's vivid in my brain. And
We have a picture. I would've
I
brought
am
it.
wearing what I thought was appropriate for the occasion, a white matching
Leisure suit. That's my
jacket
line in the
and-
story.
And pants from,
You know what a leisure
from
suit
the
is?
Gap, because
Yeah,
I
of
worked
course.
at the Gap and I had just gotten
Of
off
what
work.
boys wear in the 70s.
Yeah,
I'm only
so
saying
it's-
boys for the 70s because
But
we're
it
not
wasn't
now.
white, didn't
wasn't
you?
polyester.
It was a white suit.
White suit.
Men
Kinda
wore
like a
leisure suits in the
Travolta-ish.
70s.
No,
No,
no.
not that. Okay.
It was
leisure
more
suit
like
is what you wore,
jeans,
like-
only a long jacket.
Okay. All right. So
Anyway,
they
whatever.
greeted
Like
you. You're
Nehru-ish.
walking off in
We
your...
just immediately were stunned looking at each other because we knew we were very different just
It was
before
frightening.
we said hello.
Frightening.
And then we had a
Did you
great
see that?
time.
You scared her.
We
Yeah,
had
go
a
ahead.
great.
No,
No,
I
she
scared
scared me.
Well, you probably got off the plane and thought, oh no,
No,
what
I
kind
just
of a
thought,
weekend is this going to be?
No, it was a day, and it turned into a weekend. That's another part of the story. But basically, we went to the casinos and we had dinner, a really fun dinner, and we saw a show.
Fifth Dimension.
Fifth Dimension.
Oh.
And then we decided,
They were great.
My boyfriend decided we should stay overnight, and I said, okay, cool, but we didn't have a room. So we went upstairs to Sharon and her husband, well, her boyfriend's room. He became
Now
her husband.
husband.
Now husband.
And still married to him.
Still married. I have a life sentence. Patsy has on her second husband.
And successful marriage.
But I did
second
marry
marriage.
that one.
You did marry that
yeah,
one. That's
but-
kind of crazy.
Anyway, and then the guys said, okay, we're going to go gamble. Bye. And they went downstairs, and we stared at each other. And Sharon went into the bathroom and came out in another plunging leopard negligee.
I look like,
Negligee.
you know, Peg
What
Bundy
was she-
from Married with Children. That's
Oh,
exactly.
no!
Just
I
picture
love
that.
it. Well, you came out in a negligee for Patsy?
I had a
No,
trousseau.
for her husband.
No,
She
I
was
know,
on
I'm being
a
silly.
At
romantic
17, I had a trousseau.
vacation with her boyfriend. So she gave me one of Richie's starched shirts that I.
Oh
put
my
on
God.
to sleep in.
This is so typical.
And we stared at each other and we're wondering kind of what we were going to say to each other, and we didn't know each other. And so one of us
still don't really know
spotted the
each other.
backgammon board that Sharon had brought, and we played backgammon all night.
It's the universal language, backgammon.
I have a backgammon set here. I swear to God,
I
I
love
read that
backgammon.
about you. I'm so mad. I thought, bring down the backgammon set, Deborah. I forgot it. I should have done it last night at midnight
we're
when I thought
fine.
about
We're
it.
busy. We
Oh,
got a
we're
big
beating.
day.
We're beating. See, I'm not beating. But okay, so then after that, what? You came back to Los Angeles.
Came back to LA. Eventually, like a year later, Sharon and her got married.
We just became friends.
Yeah, we
I
became
moved
friends.
to LA. We
lived
became
in,
friends.
in
That's
the
it.
same apartment building.
End of
Then
story.
we lived in the same neighborhood. We raised our kids
Yeah, but not
together.
really end of story. Here you are, beating on my table. So, I mean, a lot has happened.
We're like related.
Yeah, well, clearly. You raised your kids together, which is pretty outstanding.
Yeah,
And
and
they're
then-
close, which is amazing. Because
Yes.
they don't have to like each other, but they're close.
But
So
Beanie's definitely
the star attraction. The young girl.
and she's also. I just think she has like a voice for her generation. And I mean, I am bragging, so I don't care. But I just think
No.
she's like a. No one's perfect, but she has really good values, and she's very sensible, and she works hard, and she's a good girl.
So
That's it. I think everybody
talented.
agrees
So
with that.
Can we talk a little bit about Bette Midler? I mean,
Oh my God, my favorite
what a
subject.
shi-
Okay,
what a-
sure,
I
love
mean,
it.
What
Huge
a
fan.
shining achievement! Oh my God!
When she was little, I went to a psychic, and they said Beanie was going to be known by one name, like Barbara and Bet. And I was like, oh my God, my idols. And I mean, when she got Hello Dolly, I couldn't breathe. Beanie couldn't breathe.
How
Nobody
do you
could
breathe? How do you make that call to your mother? Guess
No,
what?
she didn't have to make a call. I was right there. She didn't have to call.
How did you
Well, actually,
breathe?
She did call, but like I was there. I just had a feeling. I mean, I have feelings about her. I mean, you kind of
Don't we all? It's intuitive.
Yeah, so I just had a feeling, but like, Bet is just so unbelievable. I mean, I've only met her twice, but she's been so kind to Beanie, and she's just so talented. And I mean, could spend an hour talking about like how I faint to be in the presence of Bette Midler. That's it. Period.
But who
She's amazing.
wouldn't? That's an incredible opportunity.
She has her work ethic, her sense of humor, her kindness. She's just the best. The way she gives back, wonderful. Great person.
Are your kids involved in Your Mom Cares?
Well, I'm going to let Patsy feel that one. No, I will say that they are very proud of us.
Yeah.
And I will say that
support
Beanie is involved in anything that we ask her to do, and she is 100% behind us, as are all her talented young friends, which is wonderful because I've got the new Brat Pack, and they're all, as a matter of fact, one of Beanie's best friends designed our artwork that we use, which is amazing.
See, so it's collaborative.
Yeah,
I love
it's
this.
totally collaborative. And I'd say that Bahati, because she's a young mom, is also
That's Adam's
involved.
wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Supermodel Bahati, Prinsloo Levine.
Well, right. She's a mom of two now.
Right.
Yeah.
So, which I think is so beautiful. I mean,
So
you're just
I would
passing
say-
it forward, as they say.
Yes, and that's actually going to help us draw attention to the younger moms. We're really hoping to appeal to younger moms who are now raising their
And our
babies.
CEO's a young mom. Like that whole crowd is
Yes.
starting to pay attention. They're finally understanding that I am so much hipper than they are. That like they're finally getting in their heads that maybe like they should listen to me for a minute.
What was it like when you grew up? Because I know that I read that you were very supported by your family. Is that true?
My father basically told me I could be the president of the world, literally of the world. I had the most supportive. My father thought he didn't have a son at that point. He had a son very late in life. That I was like the gift to like I was a super genius. I was so smart and funny, and I could do whatever I wanted. And honestly, I was so lucky to be brought
That's
up by
not
a man.
common, not
that-
even
yeah.
now. How about you?
I felt very supported. I was the only girl with two boys on either side of me, and I felt, like I could be whatever I wanted to be and do whatever I wanted to do. It was the 60s. It was, I think our parents, well, mine, I can only speak for myself. My parents were just hoping that we were going to, grow into responsible people. It was a generation of activism and there was, the Summer of Love and all that stuff. And I think they were just, I know my dad, I remember vividly my dad on the phone with my older brother talking him out of dropping out of Northwestern after 6 weeks. And he vehemently.
What'd he do?
He stayed.
He stayed.
Yeah.
I think my mother wanted me to be a pretty housewife, but that wasn't exactly going to happen. My sister was really beautiful and looks exactly like my mother. My looks did not come into play until later on when
I was
Cher.
going to say, what are you kidding me?
No, but Cher brought I thank you, Cher, another one of my idols. Because before that, everybody had to have like perfect noses and blown dry hair and, super skinny, or I don't even know what. I don't know what they had to have. But whatever they had to have, it wasn't what I had. But my father's like, you have everything. Like you have it all. And if you focus on being like smart and nice and funny, you will always be able to walk in a room, be interested, get new things.
My God.
My father was amazing.
Wow, I didn't quite have that. Now, my parents had the best of intentions, let me just say. But they would say, total it up at 25. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I'm 5 years old. My parents, they were...
Really?
Yeah. And I asked later in life, like, what were you thinking? And, they were of the Depression era, and they said, they had nothing. They had no money. And they would say, well, I just wanted you to be ambitious and to do something. And by the time you're 25, to go somewhere. I'm like, well, you don't keep saying that for a kid who's 5. I felt a lot of pressure. So it's great that you didn't feel it because you had the freedom to just be who you were.
Well, I did feel pressure. I got married when I was very young, but I did feel pressure to my mother. I just felt pressure to have a boyfriend. So I had a couple.
Really?
But I had a backup. I just felt pressure.
It's always smart to have a backup, just to keep them on their toes.
Exactly. So I felt like I had to, it was in the 50s, the women had to have men. So
Not anymore.
Nope.
Really not anymore. So much has changed.
Now you just need beads.
So now you just need beads. Okay, let's talk about, where do you see this? I mean, I can't even imagine.
Talking for like an hour already.
No, only 2 hours. No, where do you see this? We're finishing.
I'm kind of messing with you. I always say that if we saved one kid, which we have,
Which you have.
more than we've done our job. But I think this should go on forever, way past Patsy and I. And young people should take this over, and it should be like Mothers Against Drunk Driving. It should be like, a name that everybody knows. Like everyone just says, your mom cares. We know what that means. That means treat people fairly. That means it's not mental illness. It's an illness. The brain is part of your body. Like we integrated, like integrative medicine, we have integrated mental health into the word health. And we just are kinder and more generous to people.
I like that you say it should be like Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
That's my role model.
That just rolls off your tongue.
It does, and Sharon is the one who was inspired by that. And I just, a fairly new friend asked me how we thought of Your Mom Cares, and I explained where we got the title technically, but that we wanted to be, a household name like Mothers Against Drunk
Or
Driving.
Kleenex.
And this is a young guy who I wouldn't have even thought would know what Mothers Against Drunk Driving is, but we want the longevity that they've had. Look, he's, it was conceived before this kid was born, and he knew what it was. And we want to just, have the world understand that Your Mom Cares stands for the things that we stand for, and we can expand that.
So people can go on your website, Your Mom Cares, because I always think about the kid or the mom who's scared to death. They don't know where to call because they're scared. They're feeling down. They're embarrassed. They're humiliated. We have to get past that stigma. What are you doing to just get it past the stigma of mental health, like you'll hear in conversation, they're depressed.
We're doing podcasts,
they're bipolar.
Deborah.
I know. I agree.
I think the more people talk about it, the more it becomes like anything else that has always been like questioned, like transgender people. Transgender is
real
and needs to be respected, and whatever sex you relate to, he, she, whatever pronoun you want to use, he, she, they, we, that's the respect that you deserve. Mental health deserves respect. It's part of health. And I think if we just stop and I am like a very sarcastic, like not. I try not to be so much on podcasts. I am.
Why?
I have a joie de vivre about life, but I don't think people should be mean. I think that there's a line, and there's like if you cross the line from funny to really mean, and I love funny, and I love
You're a funny lady,
and I
yeah.
like poking fun, but I don't like cruelness, especially on social media, especially if someone's in a room and they might not have a parent or a sibling that they can talk to or a friend. And when they're that alone, that's when the bad things come into their head.
Yes, it does. And I think a lot of us have been there. So we know. Our kids, ourselves, I get it. So then what do you do? Like that I want to reach that one person who's listening to say, but I don't know what to do. Who do you call? Do you go on a website? What do you do? I mean, I just want you to have something out there that's going to be so big. I mean, maybe it's these apps that you're creating.
Well, I was going to say that the McKenna Grace app, which is not going to be the technical name for it, is going to be tested at a college. And it's going to be an app that where you can reach out and somebody will respond. There's somebody like a group that will respond. Our Brain Manager is a different kind of an app. It's much, I don't want to say more official, but there are doctors associated with that. It's more medical. So that's a different kind of an app. We're meeting with a bunch of different people that are coming up with a bunch of different apps. But, and I just wrote an article, I guess an essay for a book in England called It's Not Okay to Feel Blue and Other Lies by Scarlett Curtis, who's amazing. And her parents created Red Nose Day, and she's amazing. And it's for the charity called Shout, which is Prince Harry's charity. It's a suicide hotline. So maybe we need more suicide hotlines here. I mean, Patsy and I can't do everything. Rome was not built in a day, but we can try. We're trying. And if anybody wants to help us, donate.
That's the number one. Donate, because this is small. They vet everything that they do. It's not going to go to some massive whatever. It's a small operation. You can't even call it an operation. It's basically the two of you and a group of moms.
We have like 5 people and a group of moms.
Okay, 5 people. But you know what I'm talking about. It's not the big corporate office with 20 floors.
No, not at all.
It's you guys.
I don't like offices.
And all proceeds go to help with mental health helpers, partners.
Or mental health. Yes,
Partners.
Things related to mental health. But besides that, if they have, somebody says, I want to give you $1 million, but I want it to go to a suicide hotline, fine, we'll build one for you. We will get Children's Health Fund. We will find one of our partners to build one, and not build one or create one, but try to create one that's either better or more interesting or more attractive or more user-friendly than others. Because or else, why would you give it to us? We find those places.
I also like the idea of you both, because you team so well, going to schools, because I think you'll have such
we'd love to do
there's
that.
some adults who talk to schools and the kids are in the
I
back
don't think
going,
Brentwood's inviting me there, Deborah, but like Crossroads
Not
and
after
Harbor
today.
West, like I'm ready.
No, I'm talking everywhere around the country.
We've been
We
wanting
would
to do
love
that.
to
We
do
want to go
that.
on a bus. We have a whole plan of everything we want to do, but we have to get through like our podcasts, our travel, our donors, taking donors out, going out tonight with potential amazing donors. Like that's what we have to do.
It's a step at a time, but you've grown an awful lot in the short time that you've done
have.
this. So thank you both
Thank you for
being
having
here.
us.
I really, really appreciate
I
it.
only have a couple of hives for being in Brentwood. I'm just kidding.
Sorry about that.
Just
We
kidding.
moved here so my kids could walk to school. I don't know what to say. If it were up to me, where would I live? Would you guys live here in LA? Well, you live
No,
a little south of here.
Oh, you mean where would I live in LA, or where would I live in LA? What was the question?
Where would you live? Is LA
In the
your
world?
home? Well, you live 2 places. You live
I
LA
live in
and
New York, and I have a little place in the Berkshires, which Beanie and I specifically of the family, the two of us love it the most, because it's like summer camp, and we love summer camp. Like that's where we went to camp. But I love Manhattan,
I do too.
and I almost I don't hate. I love Santa Monica. I like the
do
beach. I
too.
like Venice.
Well,
I like.
we like all these same
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, definitely.
I like the beach. I'm a big biker. I used to be a marathoner until I got
not.
injured, but I am, and I'll just go all the way down to like past Redondo Beach and back. It's fun living by the beach, but New York, come on, you can't
I just feel
replicate
like
New
you're
York.
connected to people in New York. Like I'm alone, like in my apartment a lot, but I don't ever feel like I'm alone. Like even just go downstairs and somebody says hello to me at the corner, like newspaper stand.
Well, I've always said it: black, white, rich, poor. You've got to knock into each other. You just do, because you're walking on the same sidewalk. How about you? You like it here, right? You're lifelong.
No, I'm not. I moved here when I was 15. Hated it. Went off to Berkeley, which I loved and would have stayed there forever, but my future husband got a job here, so I followed him here. I love New York. My current husband and I lived there for 5 years, and I love it. I just love it.
Do you mind, just before we leave, sharing with me briefly what were some of the biggest struggles or one big struggle that you had to get through that you almost thought like, I don't know if I can make it?
I don't talk about my struggles.
You don't.
No, they're personal. They're mine.
How about you?
Well, I mean, it's the obvious one for me would be divorce, but that's not anything that I could categorize as unusual. People get
No,
divorced
but
all
it just
the time.
depends on how we all take it. It's very difficult.
It was, at the time, very traumatic. Sharon scooped me up off the sidewalk.
gives me way
and-
I
too
think
much
everybody
credit.
needs Sharon.
No.
She scoops everybody off the
I don't
sidewalk.
scoop. No, something.
No, she really did. She supported
did-
me
no.
very, very much so with my kids.
Oh, beautiful
When I
people.
was feeling, very down.
I did not.
And
Sure,
that's
the
when
kids
you go talk to somebody. That's
I'll
what
just
I.
call
That's
Sharon.
what I did.
I
won't
feel like that
answer.
all the time.
I'm blocking you.
No, don't. I have a couple of numbers.
I'm putting you on silent.
No, don't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm just kidding.
Do not disturb.
Okay, look, no, don't do that. Thank you for bringing the beads. Yourmomcares.org. There's a lot of ways that you can get involved. So for me, I say go onto the website. You can purchase beads. I love this one. You can have a beading party.
Yes.
Because my girlfriends
Oh,
want to
let's
have
start
one.
that, Deborah. Let's talk about that.
Okay,
Have your-
please.
Challenge your friends.
I
to
will
have a beading party.
But didn't I hear you say once that you would come?
Yes, it's
Sure.
like we will come. It's like Tupperware but better. Or there's also I think like sex parties, not sex parties, like sex toy parties. So it's not as good as those, but it's better than Tupperware.
That's a lot better than Tupperware.
And Tupperware is plastic.
You get
Just
some really
don't
good
serve
looking jewelry.
popcorn.
Just don't.
No, because
you
you'll
eat
eat them instead. You'll eat the beads instead of the popcorn.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Beading party, ladies. I'm serious. Get in touch with me. I'll get in touch with them, and
I'll
we'll have
show
a
up.
beading party.
I will show up.
And you can believe that she will show
will
up.
show up.
So thank you both for being here. I know it was a lot to
I
get
love
this
your studio.
coordinated. Isn't it beautiful? It's
fabulous.
So great.
Isn't it gorgeous? I mean, we
so
do a lot.
great.
We do a lot out of here. So
Have us back. We'll find out something
yeah,
else.
or
to
you know what?
we'll
Record
bring-
something of your own here. It's my pleasure. Honestly,
that's so
We've got a
nice.
great green screen. I really mean that. Just show up, use the green screen, and
Just show
make
up.
it a Your Mom
great.
Cares Day. So and
That'd
that's
be
very
fun.
sincere. Yeah.
That'd be fun if all of our mothers would come here and say a little bit of something.
I would be my honor,
You would have
right,
to interview
Anthony?
them, but you'd have to interview them because we have, we can't interview each other.
Yeah, no, you just say it. We've got the space for you. So how about
That's
that?
awesome.
It'd
Thank
be
you,
my
Anthony.
pleasure.
Thank you,
And
thank
Anthony
you.
would be there too. He would love. He loves doing it. He's got such an old soul. Every time.
He's sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, everybody, thank you for being here. Yourmomcares.org. Please.
And follow us on Instagram.
Their
At Your
Instagram
Mom
is so
Cares.
cool. Oh God, I
It's
have to
super
give one
fun.
more shout out. I love your Instagram because
Thank
it's
you.
not one of these planned, perfect little pictures that you have to find of an ocean that you know that you didn't take. They make me crazy. Or food that you never even cooked. Your Instagram's real stuff. This morning, I know that you were not posing.
Oh, about
You
Teddy.
took a photo
Teddy
with,
Fox. Yes.
yeah,
I love Teddy
that was
Fox.
beautiful. So you also support other charitable organizations to give
Yeah,
money?
I won't. I
And I
won't
like
say.
that
I
about
won't say
you.
who. Thank you, because somebody said to me like, why do you post other people's
Oh, come
causes?
on.
And I'm like, it's everybody's cause. It's like
better believe
every
it.
cause is everybody's cause, and
And I noticed that, and I saw that about you. Yeah, both of
well,
you.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, Teddy's family, but that's not. I'm not even talking about Teddy. I'm saying we support. This
you
is
do.
about humanity, and because there are other people's causes. You know, Zoe. There are other people's and Elsa. There are other people's causes. They're all our causes. If the environment, we have to breathe the same air, drink the same water.
I call it pass it forward. Not pay it forward, but pass it forward. You
Mm-hmm.
do one good deed for somebody, they're going to pass it forward to somebody else. So if you support somebody else's foundation, organization, charity, they're going to support yours or somebody else's. I mean, it's all good.
Right, but even if they didn't, we did the right thing,
You did the right thing. You did the right thing.
and we believe in them.
yeah.
And kudos to all these other people that are doing all these wonderful things.
There's a lot of people, and they are
Takes
doing
the
great
whole
things.
world.
And I will just give a shout out to Zoe Winkler Ryan. She's going to be here next week in that seat.
Zoe!
It's all about humanity. This is about
This is about
humanity.
humanity.
This is about
humanity. Oh my God, what they're doing, and also in a short period of time, with the kids coming over here who are here. Who crossed the border? It's an outstanding thing that she's doing. Really,
And we're trying to build a psychiatric component to that, a mental health component to that. We're not, they're doing what they're doing, but if we can ever help on that other end, that's what we want to do.
collaborating. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
just
we
like
support them, but if we could even take it one step further, we'd love it.
I hope so, because those kids have got to have so
Yeah,
many
they
issues.
just have to be scared without their parents and
horrifying.
anxiety
It's
and
awful.
post-traumatic stress.
Have you gone down there? Because I want to go down there with her. And
No, we were invited, but I don't think we can go till January.
No, I know it's busy. She does it once a month, so we'll talk about that. No, they're booked. You're busy with
We're booked, what can we say?
busy with Your Mom Cares. Thank you both for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Get in touch with me. We're going to do the beading party. I'm going to get my friends. You're going to come, and
Maybe there'll be a surprise guest. You never know. My friend Bruno could show up. You never know.
Bruno.
Well, that's another whole thing.
Yeah, it's another podcast.
Dirty but delicate. We'll send him to your way. He has his own
Delicate.
podcast.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Deborah Kobylt Live. We're going to do a beading party. I didn't quite get through my beads. Sorry, everybody. It was harder than I thought. I had to put all my effort into it, which is a good thing. Please, you'll find us on YouTube, Facebook. We post all of our promos on Instagram. And if you just get your podcast by listening, we are on everything. Spotify, the iHeartRadio app. We are on Apple Podcasts. Honestly, just about anything else that's out there, we're there. Deborah Kobylt Live. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us, Deborah.
See you next time with Zoe. Bye-bye.
Oh, yay, Zoe.